What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition and MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with another reaction video. And this is actually a first one from the Poor Man's Podcast and the Crew season. And this particular video was Average Women Don't Want Average Men. And I wanted to do this because, we're talking about average here. The majority of us would be considered under the average. And I feel like a lot of the issues, whether or not we want to talk about those different things, we can't ignore them, and relationships in general, whether that be the relationship with your family, your friends, your peers, yourself, your significant other, they all play out. So this isn't something that's super random. It doesn't make sense in the spectrum of the type of stuff that I do. In regards to health and wellness, and as far as, things that make you think. So I'm gonna play just a little bit of this, give my thoughts on a couple of things, and then if you want to see the entire video, then I'll leave the video link in the description. But let's go ahead and get into this. It's a
society.
good
Our
dialogue.
burden to humanity is to build civilizations. That's our job. Whatever you want, I'm gonna provide. Men, build the microphone, build the camera, build the house. This is all men. This is what we do. We provide. You gonna make the face like we don't do that?
Yeah.
This is what we do. We provide for.
Historically, women have started things first a lot of the time, but it's okay. Go ahead. The reason why I feel like
okay.
because
hold on.
I feel like men have too many options.
This is why I wanted to play this, because you do not have to bring another people down in order to bring yourself up. And in the course that I've seen, not all of them, but what I've seen, a lot of Black women will bring down in the guise of empowerment, bringing, sisters up, everything like that. Again, not all of them, but I do see that happen a lot, where you feel like you have to bring down the guy. You just have to be above for whatever reason, and for him to say 100% facts, men do build the house. When have you ever seen a woman go and build a house? It's not something that you normally see. Everything, and it's not that there's something wrong with that. That's just what we know to be fact. Everything that you're having to deal with, the world that you're in and you get to be comfortable in, was built by men. That's not to downplay a woman's role or a woman's contribution in anything. And I think that sometimes when people hear certain things like that, they're just all like, what, the woman didn't, contribute, or da-da-da. It's just like, no, you're missing the point. Men did build those things. And for her to counteract that and make that face as if that was not true, that's 100% true. Why make that face? That's what kind of, when I was watching this, I was like, yo, that was unnecessary. When I think about the parallel between information, like where Black women are some of the most educated women. So it is confusing by these things that aren't built in any type of actual facts, like these are Google searches. He gave her straight up facts. The cameras, the stuff that you do, the cars, the this, and she gave a face and then gave a statement that was like dismissive. Well, historically, women started what? Like, as far as like y'all historically speaking, y'all didn't start building nothing. Like, and that's not to downplay your contribution. But historically speaking, it was men going out there, hunter gatherers. They were out there doing those things, building the home, starting the fire. Like, and that, it's unfortunate. If you can't see the value in something being built, we're talking like, because there's so much that goes into something being built, the discipline, the time, the patience, the blood, sweat, and tears. That was just very, very sad to see, what was that based on, historically speaking? I don't know what she was trying to get at with that.
Options. I feel like men kind of are at this point, like they find something good, but they're never satisfied. So whenever they feel like something else comes to them that might be a little bit better, unfortunately, they hop on that and they take that next option.
So when I just said the statistic that 30% of men will be virgins, that didn't do anything. That didn't prove.
Nothing.
That didn't show to you that men don't, by and large, have the majority of the options. Men get with what they can get. Women get to choose who they want when it comes to sexual
Because I feel
opportunity.
like virgins could be not shit too. So no.
So everybody in your phone that you get to choose from, those are all men that are in your plethora of people you can be involved with. Now it's up for you to decide whether those men are good candidates for you to be involved with. Now that's your responsibility as a woman. Like I said, a man's responsibility is to build civilizations and societies. A woman's responsibility is to bring forth the next generation of society builders. That's your job.
No.
But oh my. Okay, so I just want to know, why is it that could bring in all of this stuff and it should, nope, not true. Nope, I don't agree. And she said something, she was just all like, I feel like men, nowadays they have too many options and, they just hop from this to this. Okay. Both of those things can be true. She could say that, it can be true. And what he's saying can be true. Now, where he's trying to get as far as this is that, yes, it may be true that those men that you're choosing are like that. But I'm telling you that the men that you're choosing and the average men are not the same. He's saying that the average man, 30% are virgins at 30. You can't ignore those statistics, and you can't say that the 30% of men that are virgins they're trash. Basically, there is a perspective gap that's going on based on as far as an actual reality. If the men that you're dealing with, and he touches on this as far as with the whole feature thing, I would probably skip to that, so that way, if you want to see the whole thing, you can see that. But I believe that there is this misconception that, when you look at, because there's a big reality of what's going on, the type of men that are making the majority of children and different things like that. When they talk about, certain men that are missing from the house and everything like that, if you're looking at statistics and you're looking at a large chunk of men that make an average earning and single and childless, and then you look at as far as who a lot of these women are reproducing with, this is what he's saying. We built the civilization, men, but we're building a civilization for the freaking children that you decided to create with a man that wasn't about shit. And you keep on doing that over and over and over again. And some of these women are very educated women. And, and later on in the video, she talks about how, she's all like, well, you know how men are, he could have this history and, he could come around and then say that, I'm changed or I'm different, anything like that. And it's just all like, yo, this is the important thing about knowing a person's past, why their past is important, whether male or female, because you have to be able to make choices based on that's going to dictate the rest of your life. She even, I'm gonna play it. Let me see if I can just find it.
I feel like I have to disagree. I feel like women build families, women build households, women build homes. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
How can you say that women build these things and you say that men are responsible for the failings of relationships, but the things that you listed that women are bringing to the table in relationships aren't things that men want in relationships?
Maybe not what you want, but I feel like that's what the typical man wants.
If I can provide for my family and my kids and I make enough money to do that by myself, why do I care about how much money you bring to the table when you want me to pay all the bills anyway? So when I ask you what you bring to the table, men are
paying all the bills nowadays.
When I ask you
men are asking women to split checks.
Okay,
women go to dinner and men are.
Okay, so that's not to say that's not true, but here's the thing. His situation, as far as him having his wife that he's had since they've been together since they were 15, that scenario happens a lot more often than you think. Here's the thing. When I was growing up, when my mom and pops was together, she didn't have to work. The only time that she really started working was after the divorce, and it's not like he was making like this crazy amount of money. My sister right now, she's married. She doesn't have to work. It's not like her husband's making this crazy amount of money. Women not having to work when they are married it's still going on. It's not to say what she's saying is not correct. These are usually the things that are happening when you are not married. And on top of that, you have to take into consideration on what the average person is making on top of how they're spending that money. You can sit here and live very comfortably on $50,000 a year. And on average, that's around, I think it's like high 30s, mid 40s, as far as what the average Black man is making in America, as far as annually, and a lot of women who aren't making, because the average, and we're talking about average earning, Black women are making less than that, and we're talking about the majority. Of course, there's the exceptions, there's all of this, but we're talking about the majority, the average everyday person. The average everyday person doesn't want a lot of this extra stuff that costs a lot of money. That's why you will see some of these videos where, I saw this video the other day, and it was this woman that got a Christmas present, and it was like all the bills paid, but it was wrapped in like a Chanel. It was like in a Chanel bag, and it was wrapped. It was wrapped inside a little Chanel bowl, whatever, and it was like all the bills paid. And the woman was furious, and he's just all like, "Do you know how much that bag cost?" And you're gonna get upset because we have the houses paid, cars paid, lights paid, and you're gonna get upset because you don't have a like. It's nothing wrong with having nice things, but those nice things cost money. And you have to ask yourself, if you haven't created a lifestyle for yourself that allows for you to have that, then that doesn't mean there's something wrong. Like, people will literally sit and be depressed because they're not, living this so-called life that they see on Instagram, and they think that that's the majority of people, and it's not.
Asking to go Dutch.
That's because you asked for it. You asked.
Hold on, let me see where this.
With one woman. So why are women looking for men that are the most handsome and tallest guy that got
pregnant? He said, "Well, I'm not going to be present. So why are you even having the baby? So why are you having unprotected sex with a woman when you don't even plan on being present for a possible baby that could happen?"
Okay, this is where he's about to. This is the main part that I wanted to actually get at. He's about to break it down. This is, just think like, in women, if you're looking at this, I want to know how many of y'all think like this. And if you don't, how often do you run into women that do think like this? Because, oh my goodness, he's about to cook.
Hey, listen to
Let's
this
take
though.
Future.
Hit me out. Okay, go ahead. Talk
Future.
Future. Talk Future.
10, he has like what, 10 children?
10 of them.
10.
God.
NBA young boy.
What? 10 of them. All of them girls?
All of them.
So you have one sexually irresponsible man, but you have 7 sexually irresponsible women. Or in Future's case, you said 10, 9 sexually irresponsible women. Because why would you
blaming the woman?
Listen to this. If you're a woman, why are you laying down with the man?
Exactly. This is okay. Why can't we blame the woman as well? It takes two to tango. That right there is, that type of thing drives men, like, it's maddening, because it's just all like, why do you feel that you can look at that type of thing and look at 10 different women, one man? That is what happens on the average. When you see the Pookies and these Ray Rays, and you're sitting there with all of these women, this one man, these women, he has several, like, so that happens so often, and so she will see something like that, where she'll see and be like, man, all men are like that. All men are like that. No, it is just those 10 who's dealing with 50 plus women. We're talking about like several apiece, having all of these offsprings. Meanwhile, there is a large chunk, the majority, that average majority of guys that are single and childless. You're only looking at these type of men, and then you're categorizing all of the men based on those few who are the bad of the bad, who you're not going to change. But you keep on going to that. That's what he's trying to say. These men have a history of being this way, but yet the women keep on going to that. They're not looking at the security, they're looking at him and then trying to change him. He's not changeable. And then you get hurt by him because he is who he is. And he has a history of that. But you keep on going to him. And those small amount of guys who are basically categorized as the Pookies and Ray Rays are repopulating with these educated women. You're not going for the other educated men because they seem quote unquote boring. And the messed up thing is, a lot of times that is not the case.
That you know that does not take care of his children. Uh-oh, you're going after status symbols. You're going after men that you find that are successful, that already have the clout. You know that they're not going to stick to you. You already said that. And then when you get left in the dust, you cry on social media like this, like you didn't know it was going to happen. You knew what you came for.
Y'all know how men are.
No.
Men can go into a relationship. They might have a bad history. They might have a bad rap. But when you go into the relationship, they might be telling you sweet nothings.
Oh my goodness.
Next thing you know, you think you're different.
Uh-oh.
Okay? So you think you're different and you feel like the story might play out differently for you. So how are you going to blame the woman when it's the man that has the children? This woman is coming in, no kids, no history. The man has all the history, and you're telling me you want to blame the woman?
I blame the woman because she's dealing with a man she knows number one, because she's dealing with a man that she knows is inconsistent. Number two, because she has birth control. She has plan Bs. She has...
And men can't,
hold on. No, I got you. Okay, I got you.
Men can't just be responsible.
I got you. She has birth control.
Men can't
Plan B. She has condoms. Worst case scenario, like, she has reproductive rights. When a man sleeps with a woman and that child or that what it is, I ain't trying to, for the algorithm, when it goes inside of her, that's up to her. He is 100% responsible. The government will even hold him responsible. A woman can put a child up for adoption and have no connection to that child whatsoever. Men have less reproductive rights than women. Now, we could talk about condoms, but if we just keeping it a buck, these women decided to lay down with men that they knew were inconsistent, and that's their problem, and that's the problem at large. A lot of women are deciding to sleep with men that they know are inconsistent, and they don't care.
So you said that women have condoms. So why is it when you tell him no, you're like, where's the condom at? Oh, I don't have condoms. But if the woman was to pull a condom out, would you not feel like, why she have condoms?
No, I feel like, okay, she being responsible at least. Because what are we doing? If I'm not willing to have a child, and I understand me as a man, me being a responsible man, this is what you should be looking for. If you're looking for a man that's going to question you on that, you shouldn't even be in that situation no way.
Exactly.
Why are you trying to go in raw in the first place?
But why are you dealing with a man that you don't know in the first place?
How do you think I don't know him? Just what? How?
When you lay down with a man and you ain't even talked about sex before you having sex, what are you doing having sex?
Why do you have to talk about sex before you have sex?
Because if you can't have a conversation about something that you're uncomfortable.
Okay, all right, that's where I'm gonna stop it. If y'all want to go see the rest of the video, it will be link in the description. But that like, this is what is the issue. And there's so much with that it's almost just all like, cannot compute. Okay. Her whole thing was, well, why are you trying to do raw? Look, takes two to tango. Having those type of conversations are normal. And her thing was, what about being spontaneous? Look, those type of thinkings lead to a particular outcome that you say you don't want. I hope that when people hear these conversations, you're not sitting here being like, oh, it's the woman's fault. Oh, it's the man's fault. Da, 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 da. Here's the thing. Those men that she's talking about that are like that, that's true. they are like that. But that is a small percentage of men who historically act like that. And you can't turn around and be like, oh, well, the guy was just saying sweet, that this, da 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 da. No, this is where you have to use that intelligent brain, because you are the most intelligent women out there, to make smart decisions. Those group of guys that you want on the sexual level are not going to turn into those men that you want to be this, whatever. And you're going after dudes who are already established. Yeah, there are more people who are becoming, more financially stable a lot sooner, different things like that. But even then, that is not the majority of people. And I would honestly challenge you to actually do a little bit of research into some of those people's lives, and you will see that they're not making as much money as you think. And as far as when we're talking about business, how much money your business makes versus how much you actually take home, it should be a completely different ball game as far as the price range, so these aren't to sit here and say that what she's saying isn't correct. It's just that you're not picking the correct guys, and that is a small section of guys. When some of us hear that, we're just all like, that's a small percent. It's, you keep on going to that. So it's just all like, yeah, what she's saying could be 100% right as far as those dudes, but those dudes are not the dudes that you should be even going after like that, and it just speaks a lot. It's very unfortunate. But anyways, what is y'all's thoughts on this video? And I don't want to say whether do you think he's right, she's wrong, da 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 da. I just want to know, what do y'all think about the points that was presented? Anyways, leave it in the comments. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, notification bells on. So this composition MC that writes fiction.
In the darkness, turn the galaxy into my office. Translating thoughts into deep science. Got the sun in my pocket, build your resilience. So when the next winter cycle comes, I prepare with no losses. The work of the solo, it's a boss. At the heart of my winter, there's an event.